But the game I've been stuck on, and not stuck as in I'm stuck in the game, just stuck on thinking about and playing a whole bunch instead of doing other things, is Elden Ring.
You felt the two fingers, my friend.
Yeah,
you felt them crawl it deep inside of you, and now you praise them. You want them in your life.
Yeah, sure.
Boss Rush Podcast, episode 234. Corey got fingered.
By two fingers.
Probably not going to name the episode that, but you know,
we can't all be winners.
It's
Corey meets the two fingers.
So here's the thing. I can't tell if I'm enjoying myself yet.
Oh God.
No, that's as much as I love these games, every game is like that for me. I always have that moment where I'm like, oh, now I'm in.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm still waiting for the aha moment. But what I do want to say is that exploring the world in general gives me the same feeling that Breath of the Wild gave me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like finding these little secrets or these little catacombs or caves or whatever, and just going down in there and exploring. And the enemies that just jump out at you are kind of, I'm like, oh, okay, come on, that's a little cheap. That's a little cheap. I understand these games are hard, but like this is cheap. Okay,
it just teaches you every time that you come to a doorway entry to look to the left or to the right, because you know that it's gonna have one of those little goblin guys.
Yeah, those goblin guys are just pissing me
dicks
off. Like there's this catacombs off to the side, and there's the Matt. Both of you probably know the one with like the little fire shooter things in the temple in this little catacombs off to the left in that opening area. I'm in there, and I'm like, okay, so I clearly have to hit these fire things to make them, go down to power the thing to open the door or whatever. So I do that. I get to the second one. I hit the fire thing, and all of a sudden, like 9 of these goblin things jump down from the ceiling and just like murder me. And I'm just
that's the Dark Souls way.
They
force you into the room, they force it so that you can't sneak into the room.
I wasn't sneaking. I just went in there and ran behind the fire thing.
You activated all of them because you ran into the room. And that was the plan.
Yeah.
It was a distraction. It's like when they have the one guy that you see. There's never just one guy in the room.
Yeah, there's never one guy in the room.
Yeah.
There's never one guy in the room unless you're walking behind a fog gate. Then there's one guy in that room. And that one guy is going to make your day kind of bad probably. But
I don't know. The cat boss I beat in the first try in that catacomb was not very difficult at all.
Yeah.
I don't like how you can't summon your ashes in the catacombs, though. Is there like a story or lore reason for that?
No, you should be able to summon.
Oh, well, I was trying to summon.
It depends.
I was trying to summon my dogs.
You should have been able to summon the wolves.
And they didn't.
Unless you didn't have the magic.
Oh, I did have the magic. I sat at that fire at the grace thing. I keep calling it a bonfire. It's not.
It's a bonfire. It's fine. It's and they're not like whatever they're souls. Like whatever currency they're called. They're
runes.
Yeah, they're souls. No, they're souls. In Bloodborne, I get souls. In Armored Core, I get souls. In Sekiro, I get souls. They're souls.
And then I got to the castle, like the main kind of castle where you have to fight the giant sword wielding scorpion morphed deformed face guy.
Yeah.
Right. So I almost beat him the first time, but then I went back down to like the area where that bridge troll looking thing is. And I just kept grinding there. And there's like a bunch of soldiers at the bottom, and Limgrave, I think is what the area is called.
Yeah, you're talking the path to the to Stormguard Castle.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just kind of been hanging out there and grinding and exploring down there.
If you could stay on the mountain and kind of go off to the
east
side, there's actually a lot more trolls, and they give you more experience, and they're not that hard to take down.
Yeah. Okay. I might go that way. I just was, hanging out in this area because, there's a bonfire right there and there's a bunch of guys there, and it's kind of like a real easy kind of, I can do this for an hour and level up.
Yeah.
So I would like to use like a magic bow wielding kind of build, but I started out with like heavy strength because I knew I was going to suck real bad. And I wanted to kill things early. So it's probably the backwards way to do it, but that's okay.
No,
I did it anyway.
I mean, there's, you could, I mean, it's kind of like the definition of an actual role-playing game. You play it how you want. So
this is when I think of a role-playing game, this game checks every single box of that. Right. So, but like I said, I'm having fun, I think. Here's the thing. When you played Breath of the Wild or Zelda in general, it's brightly colored. It's Zelda. It's inviting, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very freeing.
Yeah.
When you go into Elden Ring, the only thing you're thinking about is this is an open world Dark Souls game, and Dark Souls is hard, right?
Yeah. But it's pretty.
Yeah, so parts of it are beautiful and parts of it look like a PS2 game. In my opinion.
So
but that's not that's always been FromSoft though. Like their characters are like fine, they're serviceable, right? It's I think the world is beautiful. I think the landscapes and the vistas are amazing. I love seeing that big, I guess it's the Erd tree, the big golden tree in the middle, right?
Yep.
Looks amazing. Even from anywhere on the map, you can see it. I jumped down into this swampy area and almost got killed by a dragon. So that was fun.
Oh, yeah.
In that opening area, I went backwards instead of forwards and jumped down. That was fun. That was neat.
Now every time you go there, that dragon's just waiting for you.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
Now what you should do is there's ruins down in that lake area. You should go down there and open the treasure chest. It gives you a really amazing treasure early on in the game.
I feel like you're lying to me. It's one of those treasure chests that like eats you, like in Bloodborne.
You know what? I don't think Elden Ring has those. No, I am lying though. The chest actually transports you over to a very dark area of the map.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like that.
No, it transports you to one of a very similar looking catacombs area, but it's not catacombs, it's mines.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up in one of the several swamp areas that will just find a way to kill you if you just stand there.
Okay.
But it does have some good shit lying around, so it's worth exploring, especially if you want to have magic.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been man,
that game's good. I love that game.
Isn't it?
It's
it really is.
It's weird because like I can't tell if I'm enjoying it or not, but I can't stop thinking about it, if that makes sense.
No, I fully agree with you. That's normal.
So I think that just says you might be into it, and that's cool.
I'm into the concept.
And and there have been plenty of games where I'm like, man, I really want to like this, but ultimately doing the thing isn't for me. Yeah. So I will watch the game be played, and that's fine.
Yeah. I'm still at that point where like anytime I see more than like two enemies in front of me at the same time, I like run away.
Yeah.
Or that giant horse guy at the beginning is.
Yeah, you don't need to fight him yet. You do not need to fight him. Don't like there were. I remember there were so many people saying, I tried for like 10 hours to beat that thing, and when I finally did, it gave me absolutely nothing. I'm like, yeah, because you weren't supposed to fight it yet. Number one, the game is trying to tell you to run. Like that's what it's telling you, because there's a thing in FromSoft games that has existed since Demon Souls, and that is when you die, instead of fighting your way back to wherever you died to get your droppings, you can just run by it. And now, granted, if you just run by things, you will piss everything off along the way. Yeah. So that becomes part of the game where you're just like, oh, how can I shuck and jive my way through this to get my souls back, and then progress. So most of that is left behind, because at least in the earlier games, you couldn't kite them for very long. Dark Souls 2, they really tried to make that a problem. And it succeeded for a very long time. In the Scholar of the First Sin edition of Dark Souls 2, it got even worse, where it's just like, nope, you have to fight everything, otherwise you will have a bad time wherever you end up. But it is one of those
Dark Souls of Dark Souls.
It is one of those things where you learn, you can learn how to do that and use the run to your advantage. And Elden Ring really tries to teach you that up front. Unfortunately, there's also the trope in just being a video game player where you see an enemy, you kill an enemy. So
yeah, I mean, I remember playing Bloodborne. I remember what to do there, but also like this game is not
behind
Bloodborne.
The pig and then you fist it.
Jeez, no, that is not what I did. No, but like this is definitely like you got to learn how to use your shield more than being aggressive, right? Like that's the whole thing, is being patient. So
you know what's funny is I actually ran like most of the time I've been rolling around to avoid attacks. But this one boss I just went to, he just kept on like hitting me, and like rolling around just was not effective, and it forced me to start using a shield, and that I was surprised at how much easier it made the fight. Like his hits did not take a whole lot of stamina out of me if I used a shield. So rather than keep backtracking and getting hit by his flying sword, it was a bell hunter.
Yeah, those guys are dicks.
Yeah, those guys are dicks. Like I used the shield to block, his 3 shots, and then I went and hit him a few times, and then rinse repeat.
Yep. Trying to fight them as a magic user is a certain kind of annoying, though.
Yeah. No, I'm a magic user, so that was the issue. Like my attacks reached just about as far as his attacks did, so it made no difference of how far back I was. Yeah, I was still getting hit.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.